Hi guys, today I wanted to talk about the Game of War ads featuring Kate Upton. This is a project that she's been working on for the past year, probably with millions of dollars put into it, but they have gotten an overall really good revenue back. Um, if you haven't seen the commercial, I did put it onto the discussion board. The commercial starts off as, Athena, the goddess of war. Of course, she's portrayed as very sexy and hot, big breasts, no clothes covering her skin, and she's taking a bath, and something happens, and she has to go out and fight in this war. Of course, she's the only woman in this commercial. All the rest of the people are soldiers, so they're not seen upon as very like up top, and she has slaves around her, and she has all her people doing putting her clothes on for her, getting her on her horse, and she's leading the way. So I think the target audience of this commercial is young men, actually, because it is a fantasy world commercial, but I do think there's a big controversy in the way that Kate Upton is portraying herself as a woman. She is dominating in this commercial. She is being the dominant, and the soldiers are being her slaves, her peasants, and she's controlling this whole thing. But what is bothering is that she has a big chest, the amazing beach perfect body, and this is back in like the hundreds, and no one looked like that. She has a lot of makeup on and this gorgeous gown that's barely covering any of her skin, and of course her chest is all out. So it's a big controversy, I think, because a lot of young girls are seeing these commercials thinking, oh my gosh, it's Kate Upton, and what are they going to do next? They're going to go out and buy these products that'll make them look like Kate Upton. So I definitely think that it is kind of challenging the stereotypical norms, because she is being dominant, but she's also portraying herself as a woman more about sex appeal. The whole commercial is all about buy the game, come play with me, because it's a commercial portraying women and sex. So I definitely think it's a big problem for young girls and men, because then men start thinking, oh, well, if women want to be dominating, then they have to look sexy, they have to look like Kate Upton, basically. In the According to the Women in Media, the On-Screen and Off article that I read, media is creating gender stereotypes to promote certain images, which is what's wrong in our society today. There was a quote from the American Psychological Association's Task Force on Sexualization of Girls has identified media depictions of women as one of the factors promoting unhealthy gender values to young girls and maintaining sexist attitudes among men. That's a really big problem, especially in our generation X and the next generation coming on. There's a need for more and more psychological help because of these advertisements. There was another quote that said, depicting women as sex objects teaches young girls to focus on their appearances and sexuality as their most valuable characteristics, which marginalizes gender role. This is a really big, scary thing, especially for children nowadays. I mean, that's all that they're focusing on. We have toddlers and tiaras on TV, and, as far as 2 and 3-year-olds putting makeup on and showing skin. It really is a big problem, but it's coming from all these advertisements, all these TV shows, music videos. It's a really big thing, and a lot of people don't think it's a problem, and that would be because of social constructionism, which we all live in. It's understanding of the world and how it's developed through society. The media gives us a meaning, and we have to accept it and try our hardest to look a certain way like the media wants us to. So Kate Upton's Game of Thrones ads, she's wearing this gorgeous dress and her breasts are out and she barely has clothes on. You know, women are going to think that they have to look that way because their boyfriends are going to tell them that they do. I think it's wrong that she's dressing up this way when she should be, if she really wanted to send out a good message, she wouldn't be showing all of that. We're not aware of our surroundings. Most of us aren't anyway. So as a public relations major, you have to look deep into these advertisements and the media, and you really have to analyze it to see through all the BS. But back to the agenda setting theory, public agenda, that's what our public is deciding what's wrong and what's right, what's important in our society, what we should be talking about. And we're not talking enough about how women are being portrayed in TV. I mean, even such a fantasy world game, Kate Upton is promoting women as a sex symbol, and it's been that way forever. Women have always been portrayed as sex symbols, and Kate Upton doing this commercial isn't helping anybody change their views on what women should look like. So the society is responsible for what women believe in. And the people who believe the most into these things don't think that we have a problem in our society, because the media is actually shaping their thinking. It's not giving them like a broad aspect of our social cultures and our social world, which is kind of what framing is. It's when the media is influencing our lives and the way we think and the way we act and the way we dress. If someone says it's true on TV, then they automatically think it's true. If CNN says that something is happening, then it's happening. And most people in the world believe all this. When you're really analyzing these things, looking into the media and the problems, you can see that we do have a big problem in our world, especially when it comes to young teenage girls. A commercial like this is really not helping young women with their self-esteems and their confidence. It's not helping them focus on, their future lives. It's just saying, hey, focus on the way that you look and try to look like Kate Upton. We know from chapter 3 that the she-economy, the marketing is targeting our fears. Women do spend the most money in the household, but we don't get any respect from marketing because most of the directors are all men. 85% of purchases are coming from women, but that's because men know that. Men know to target our fears. If it wasn't for our fears and marketing, and if it wasn't for only men being the directors, we could close that gender gap. And that is what was said in the Sheila Gibbons article. The marketing to women seems unable to keep up with, which is true. If there was a way to close the gender gap, it would be by not targeting our fears. Women would have self-confidence, and there would be nothing else for marketers to target. So in conclusion, women in the media, on screen and off, there's completely different gender roles. Young girls that are, just going into high school now, what's going to happen to them in 10 years? Are they all going to have plastic surgery, or are they all going to be feminists? That's the thing. We're not focusing enough in the world, in these advertisements, to really realize what, women are all about. Instead, all these ads and media are telling us that media is about being a sex symbol and looking a certain way, and nothing else. So if you guys want to check out both of the videos, I know I only talked about one, but the other one was very, very sexist and controversial, so I do recommend looking at it. Thanks.